Hey everyone, today I want to make a quick video about the major events in Army basic training. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first major event that you'll probably get to during Red Phase is Victory Tower, which I'll show a picture of it right here. Tower basically is an half obstacle course including 3 different types of rope bridges, maneuvering a large wooden ladder with both a rope to hold on to as well as different spacings, and of course, what lots of people are afraid of is the repelling wall. They'll start you out on a slanted wall, and it's about 20 feet high, and it's at like a 45-degree angle, and it's to get you familiar with the harness, your rope's Swiss seat, and just how to walk and jump, and just to kind of get your balance up. From there, usually you'll then go up the wooden ladder, and then that will take you all the way up to where you get to the actual wall where you will rappel down the 90-degree wall. And this is, say it's about 60 feet, 70 feet, and you'll get up there. Drill sergeant will call you to the station. There'll be 3 stations generally. That's how it was at Fort Jackson, and you'll hook up, and then they'll make you mount out. So you stick 90 degrees out from the wall. From there, they usually ask you to take one hand off and either wave at them or just take it off and hold it in the air for a certain amount of time. After that, you'll begin to rappel. This is something that really can get the people's nerves because heights is first off, and just in general, they feel like there is no support or they can just fall. But there are safety measures that make sure if you do let go or slip, there'll be a safety personnel bomb that pulls your rappel cord, and it just makes you hang in midair. Another thing is, if let's say you do not jump to rappel and you kind of walk most of it, or you let nerves kick in and you're not going fast enough, you will have to do it again, and they'll send you all the way back up. So it's easy just to get knocked out and knock it all out at once instead of having to be a repeat, because you only technically get 2 tries before you're considered a no-go. And usually it's not a big deal. They might give you a 3rd try depending on the cadre there, but they might push it to where they'll send you back and recycle you, so you have to do it all over again, and that kind of sucks. The second main event is your rifle qualification that you'll do in White Phase. You'll have plenty of time at the ranges, and even in Red Phase when you don't go to the ranges, but you just always have your rifle, you're always breaking it open, you're always putting it back together, learning how to properly lube it, doing math classes. Yes, you'll do math about, bullet trajectory and windage and how to get your sights all set up so they work with you, and taking in distance. You do all of that. But after you go to a bunch of ranges, you'll go to your 0 range first, where you'll actually zero your weapon for the rest of the basic training. And that is usually an all-day thing. Lots of people I know people that zeroed pretty much instantly, and then people that had to keep shooting. After that, you'll go to a bunch of ranges, shooting at distances, shooting at moving targets, and then around the last week of White Phase, you'll actually do your rifle qualification, and the Army standard is still 23 out of 40 targets to get basic rifleman. The next event would be your Battle Buddy Live Fire, also known as Omaha Beach. This event has to be my favorite event. You and a battle buddy will start on a big lane that's set up like a range, where there's pop-up targets in the middle of the lane, and you will be on the sides. And basically it's one person shoots, and then your battle buddy will move up. Then once he starts shooting, you will move up all the way till you get to the end of the lane. There you'll toss one of your dummy grenades that has a little cap in the bottom so it explodes. and basically it's just learning to communicate while dealing with the loudness of firing. Then we have Nick at Night, the night infiltration course. I'll show a couple pictures of it right here. Um, Basically, I believe it's 300 yards. Lots of people talk about this event. I'm sure it's all over YouTube. Actually, I'll put a video to an actual Nick at Night course in the description below so you can check it out yourself. It's a lot different when you're actually doing it than the video shows. And basically, you have to low crawl. I had my rifle and my body armor and my Kevlar. I know some people that went through, they don't use their rifles. They just go in full armor and Kevlar. So it kind of depends on what company you have or what fort you go to for basic training, but it's pretty much all the same thing. And basically, it's up to you whether you low crawl or high crawl. There's barbed wire, and it's all at night, and they have flare guns, they have fake mortars, fake bombs going off, and then they have the live rounds going over your head from 240 Bravos, and they have the tracers and everything. It's super loud, so make sure you wear your ear pro. But that's a fun event. The only time I don't see people passing this, I think we had two in my company, where people either got tired or somehow instead of going straight, they like zoomed off to the side. I don't know how that happens really, but that happens and they failed it. And this isn't something you can get a second chance to do. So make sure you just crawl your little hearts out. Third major event you'll also do during white phase. I believe it was white phase when I did it. It might be white phase right on blue phase, but most of the time it's going to be white phase, and that's going to be Remagen. Remagen is your grenade range. You'll have a whole day throwing all sorts of practice grenades. Complete dummies to ones that are like set up cap guns, and you'll just practice throwing all day. Your arm's going to hurt. At the end of the day, you will throw your live grenade at the actual Remagen range. But it's a fun range, and generally everyone passes this. As long as you pretty much throw it out of your little cubby that they put you in when you throw, you will pass it. It's really easy. And last but not least, of course, we have Victory Forge. This is your final event. I was out at Victory Forge for 4 days, 5 nights, and it's your final field training exercise. You'll do 2 of them before Victory Forge, but you're only really out there for like 2 days. But Victory Forge is 4 days or 5 days, depending on the cadre and the training schedule. You'll set up a AO, which is like a temporary base, and you'll dig foxholes. You go on patrols. You get no sleep. They attack you at night. Where they have like fake mortars. Everyone has blanks. They'll attack you. They have people dressed up like the Taliban and stuff, and it's fun afterwards when you look back on the experience. But during it, it is pretty miserable. Especially when I went, because it started raining, so our foxholes got all muddy. And after that, you fill in your foxholes, you clean up everything, and then you start your 12-mile ruck march back to your company. So this is very much about being exhausted and to the point of, very mentally tired. I know it even happened to me by the 4th night. My vision was always a little wavy, but it's something you just have to press forward. I only had 2 MREs a day, which I know doesn't not complaining where some basic trainings they only have 1 MRE a day, or they get a certain amount of MREs before the event starts and they have to ration it throughout the entire Victory Forge. Those are some of the main events in basic training. I hope that gives you a little bit more insight, or just if this is the first video you've seen and you're interested in joining the Army, this is just something to inspect. There's lots of videos on each event already on YouTube, but I kind of just wanted to take what I think was the most important events that you can look forward to. I'll talk to you guys in the next video, and see you guys later.